Welcome to SoulShare, a conversation focused on love, intimacy, vulnerability, and emotional intelligence. This is a different kind of relationship dialogue for those who want to make the shift from the ego-driven to more intimate, spirit-nurturing partnerships that satisfy. Because that's what Black love is. Black love is powerful. Black love is soulful. Black love is a love that you can feel. Give thanks. What is your definition of love?
Love.
Yeah.
Love. I think like when like you have a conversation with somebody, right? And you can agree to disagree, right? That's not love. That's just saying that I got my ideas or my opinions, you got yours, and we're just gonna say that it is what it is. I think love is when I have an idea or I have an opinion and I want you to see that opinion and I can get you to that point. And you can actually give me back that same information to let me know that you understand where I come from. So it's like a higher form of understanding. You know what I mean? Like to you, and that's the whole point of the union. You know what I mean? Like to be able to come together and they say form a perfect bond. You get to a point where you understand something together. Like it ain't no mystery to it. You know what I mean? It's every day. You know, it don't have to necessarily just be with your spouse. Sometimes it could just be with people you work with, just and coming finding a lot of times they say common ground, but to me that's still agreeing to disagree. I mean, like you help somebody, it's like even your kids, you teaching them to walk and they finally get it. They get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got your balance. You ain't afraid, and you doing what you got to do.
Right.
That's love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You tell them not to do this. They may do it, but then they get it, and then they come back and they be like, yo, you know what? You was right, Daddy. Or you was right, Mom. Because I did that and the outcome was this. You know, so to me, like I said, love is just like it's just understanding. Like it's a real understanding where two people, it could be two man and woman or man and man, woman and woman, whatever, but they both get to a common understanding, not agree to disagree. They both feel like that they're moving in accord the same way.
Okay, in alignment.
In alignment, yeah.
Okay. How important is love, well, generally speaking for men, in when they're pursuing relationships? Is that what the initial goal is, or is that more secondary, whereas, I can learn to love her?
It might be third or fourth dairy. You know what I mean? I don't even know if it's even in the beginning, man. You know, it ain't no part of the initial stages, man. Most of the time, it's about, I could see me and her, you know, in a situation. We could, or I want it to be her, you know. And you know, a lot of times women feel the same way. Like it ain't got nothing to do with love. I want to get at him, and that's what it. And then and sometimes that turns into something where they're together later on down the line. Initially, it wasn't spiritual or deep. It might have been more lust than anything, and then it spews into something else, you know. So, but I mean, you know, it seemed like back in the days in the 90s, everybody was looking for love. We was going to clubs looking for love. We was looking for love in the church. Anywhere we could find love, we was looking for love, man.
We was looking for love in R&B songs.
Hell yeah, man. Wherever we can find love,
we
man.
don't even have R&B anymore.
But now it's same, and the funny thing about that is we in 2018 and it still seems the same thing. Everybody's still looking for love, you know. But at least back then there was, I guess I could say it was some somewhat nice meeting places. Now it just seemed like wherever, you know, or whatever they consider love, you know, if that's even what they're looking for anymore. You know,
I often wonder, you know.
I've been hearing about some real strange partner relationship contracts for young people, you know.
Oh, you're starting to scare me.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we get married, if we don't agree. We agree that in 5 years, if it don't work, we have our little separation. I was like, that's happening out here. Like,
oh, wow.
we got those kind of partnership agreements.
But see, don't you feel that the less love that there is between a couple, the more rules you're going to need to maintain the relationship? Because once there's that genuine love, you don't necessarily need all these contracts, whether it be marriage or whether it be a prenup or whether it be, whatever written or unwritten, set of rules, because there is no actual love that's taking place with these relationships. So that's why we need all these vows and contracts and just to make it work. And even that doesn't even keep people together anymore. So
well, then somebody would ask, then okay, but so love doesn't have a rule?
Well, I mean, I guess it all depends on one's definition of love.
Right.
Because it depends on, because with my definition of love, then no, it really doesn't, have any rules. So, because it's coming from, for me, love is an energy. So it's an energy that exists, at the apex of appreciation, admiration, and a bunch of other things, and it's just like it just is, so when you admire and appreciate, when you respect someone, and you adore them, that's where love resides. That energy, that's as a result of all those things. It's not an emotion or anything else like that, because those things are just too volatile, and I don't believe that love is anything volatile.
Well, but like I don't want to just harp on one aspect of what you were saying, but like, and even in respect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's kind of a rule there, no? Because respect is like, I think it's mutual, right? Because respect means respect me, I respect you. If you disrespect me, there's the chance of you being disrespected as well. So there's kind of a rule there, even with respect, like, don't cross this line. So there's either a rule, or there's a boundary, or there's something there that can't be crossed, because if it crosses, then it changes how we interact.
Well, everybody doesn't require reciprocity. So it's like, if you're giving love freely, reciprocity is not necessarily. I'm going to love you because love is who I am and love is within me. So once I open up my heart, you're going to automatically receive that. And you don't have to do anything to receive it, because there are no conditions that that you have to perform anything or do anything just for you to receive it. You get my love because I am love, and I'm opening up myself to you. So in that sense, well, no. And even if you are disrespectful to someone, that's where forgiveness comes into play, and you can always forgive someone. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that you have to disrespect them back. You forgive them, for whatever it is that they did, and you move on. And love, just because, like any energy, it just changes form. It's never lost nor destroyed. You know what I mean? So it just changes forms. But the love still exists, and I can love you in a whole new way.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a new way. Because I know with some women out there, they gonna be like, forgive. Man, I forgave him 6 times. How many times do I need to keep forgiving for him to understand that I love him and what I'm giving him is genuine? Or even, for that matter, with the men, they could feel the same way. Like, yo, she not gonna change. I tried my best, and there's nothing I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I get it.
You wish them well on their journey, and you wish them well on their journey, and then that's it. But sometimes you do have to. There's nothing wrong with disconnecting, but there's no hard feelings or anything like that, and you just love them from a distance. But I mean, that's
my interpretation of it, of love, and that's how I see it.
Well, I mean, the most important thing on what you said is that not just it being your interpretation, but that's, you just feel like that should be, that should come from everybody, and I get it. But like you said, even giving somebody saying, well, okay, you know, this doesn't seem like it's gonna work out, so you know, no animosity here, I'm just gonna go my way. But like I said, it still seems like then there was a line that was crossed, because you had reached a point where you just been like, nah, I'm not gonna deal with this, because at some point it feels like it affects your love, because they're putting you, they're constantly giving you negative energy, and who wants to deal with that? You know what I mean? If you don't, I remember one day somebody told me that their mother told them, a woman told me that her mother said she was in a relationship and the guy did something, but the mother just was fed up, and she was like, I'm not dealing with you. You know why? I don't have to. And I was like, well, damn. Okay. And I mean, like, it just seemed simple, but I got what she was saying. Like, I don't got to deal with that. Bye. Like, why should I have to deal with your nonsense? I shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing the best that I can. And if you can't appreciate that, you don't deserve me. You don't deserve my love. Like, everybody doesn't deserve your love if they don't if like you said, it doesn't require reciprocity, but I think it does, because you know, it's not like we were trained into love. It takes time to develop that mindset. So in your training, it took you time. So the least people can do is respect the time that it took to get you there.
Yeah.
And most of the time they can't, because they don't even understand where you at. So instead of messing up that positive energy you got for yourself, or having that person turn you into something that you don't want to be, it might be easier just to let them live their life. You ain't got to bring them into your love, because they might not even want it. You know, let them live wherever they live in at. Let them enjoy what they consider love. You know, that's your love.
I learned that you have to know when it's time to walk away and when it's time to exercise patience. Because a lot of times I think that many of us don't have enough patience. And, you know, and we have that attitude. I don't have to put up with this. I don't deserve this. And I don't know if you remember this, but when we were back in college in Medgar Evers, and I was talking to you about a relationship that I was in at the time, you sat me down and you said, if you want to deal with black men, you're going to have a lot of patience, because they're just not where you are. And, you know, and I was just like, but I go. And I was protesting, and you just looked at me, you just like, they're not where you're at. You're far ahead of them. And you are going to have to. And I took that with me throughout all these years. And I do realize that a lot of us do need work, and our brothers do need work. And I have exercised a lot of patience, because everybody's on their journey. And then we have to be patient, you know, and be willing to walk through that darkness with them. Right. Of course, when it becomes, you know, too much, and you have to know when to say, okay, it's time for me to step away, because now it's costing me too much. But I don't think that we should be so quick to abandon our men when they're going through their dark, because somebody has to be their guide. Someone has to be their light and help lead them through that. So even though I understand what you're saying as far as, oh, I don't have to put up with this, and I hear it all the time, it's like I find it so hard to just say that, you know, to our men who have a lot of struggles internally, and then they also have a lot of forces that they're dealing with externally, that's, you know, that they're fighting against as well, and they need somebody who's going to fight those battles with them and walk through all of that with them. Well, you know, so
I'll tell you one thing about the universe, what makes it amazing, right? We know on this planet there's more women than men, right? So if he can't figure it out with you, there's a lot more out there for him to figure it out with. Don't stress yourself out. and that's coming from a man. Like I support men. You know what I'm saying? Like I see how hard it is out here, whether it's relationships, trying to find work, dealing with the system, everything else. But at the end of the day, I got 2 daughters. So, you know, I'm not gonna say don't walk with them through their journey, but what I will tell them is that make sure they're on a journey. Don't just walk to be walking, because they might not be on no journey. Make sure they work. They make sure there's a journey there, because it might not be no journey there for you, and you don't want to get to the other side of the tunnel and you in Jersey and you don't know where you going. You know, if you're going through the tunnel and you want to be a light for them, you want to be that beacon. Okay, that's not a problem, but make sure that they understand that you're there for them. That light is shining for them, and if they ain't feeling that, then just let them be, because it's a lot more you for him to choose from, and maybe you just not the one. You know, it might be somebody else out there that's prepared for that, for him to be the beacon for him. You know, but I mean, yeah, I want, especially cultivated women, I want them to be able to help our men move through this thing, because it's hard for everybody. I mean, it's I can imagine how hard it is, because especially, I don't know, I can't say I know what it is as a woman, but I could just imagine the fact that y'all have to, knowing that there's more women than men, that what you got to go through in order just to have somebody see you. You know what I mean? When it's a line behind you, like I'm the one, almost like the Bachelorette, you know, or the Bachelor. So he got to pick me out of 23 girls here. What make me special? You know, why am I special? What am I gonna do to make him think that I'm special? And then you putting forth your best effort just for him to be like, nah, not you, I'm gonna go with her. And you like, yo, I just seen her last night